And I'm live. Hola, hola, todos. This is Tico Tren, and I'm gonna talk about um, "Lady Who Hurt You." Is actually There's actually a story that's going to be attached to this that happened to me yesterday, depending on where you are in the world, or today, depending on where it happened. Yesterday, today, or tomorrow, depending on where you fall in the world too. But this basically happened yesterday to me when I was actually checking my post office box for like mail and shit like that, for unboxings and, other craziness and mail that people send me basically. So I was basically checking my post office box. Um, and it's about a woman that apparently me and my daughters both ran into that we found very odd for the most part. And it was kind of interesting to me that it actually took place the way it did, and in such manner that it actually took place because we were just chilling and she literally just came out of nowhere and it was like, wait, what? So yeah, that's typically what the reference is for this video. The reference for this video is pretty much going to be about that, plus women's ability to be able to pass blame for anything they do for the most part, which is really sad in this day and age that women can actually literally do this and pull this off, and nobody think anything of it, or nobody even is the wiser when it comes down to it, which is really sad. Like, how can you sit up here and be like, well, this, that, and the other, this, that, and the other, and not take responsibility for your own actions in the process of doing so? Um, a good example of that is women's ability to, if something happens, so it basically is one of them things where they try to draw comparisons or draw lines to how it actually fits their narrative so they can actually pass the blame off to another man, or pass the blame off on someone else different, or pass the blame off on an inanimate object. Let it be liquor, let it be another person, let it be the dog, let it be the animal, let it be the squirrel, let it be the wind, let it be anything for the most part. And that's typically how it works, is like, instead of actually taking responsibility for their own actions, they typically just pass it off and say, well, it's not my fault for therefore this, which is kind of sad once you think about it. Like, if you're going to take responsibility for your own actions, or if you're going to be an adult, being a part of being an adult is being able to take responsibility for your own actions for the most part. The sad part about that is there's a lot of people and a lot of women who can't do that, or who refuse to do that for the most part. There's always that too. And typically how it works is the carte blanche, or the level of protection we afford women to not be able to take responsibility for their own actions for the most part, which is actually pretty damn funny. Once you think about it, it's like one of the funniest things in the whole entire world to watch a woman and her not be able to take responsibility for her own actions for various reasons, or for reasons for the most part. Because typically, when you think of a woman, you think that, she should better take responsibility for her own actions, and therefore she's not, so that sucks. So, and the thing that allows women to do this with allows women to carte blanche, or such craziness for her to be able to afford to do this, is how society is set up. Society is set up to help women, to protect women, help women, or help women to make life easier for women for the most part. That's typically how it works. It's made to make life easier for women and children, mainly women for the most part. Children, they got a much more, they got a worse uphill battle than women do in this society for the most part, because children still need to climb, and they still need to do stuff, and they still need to learn that, okay, maybe that wasn't the best idea, maybe I shouldn't have went through with that, typical shit like that for the most part. The problem with that type of society is women get complacent, so now they feel as though they are the shit, and when that happens, they tend to feel like they're this. They feel like they have like a god complex for the most part, which is typically something that women carry, and, well, mainly women. But like, if you actually work at a hospital and you work with a bunch of surgeons tend to have a god complex as well. But women tend to think they have this god complex when it comes down to it. When it comes to certain things, they believe that because one person do, all person do. All people do for the most part. Like, because 3 people like them, so everybody likes them. Or 2 black people like them, so all black people like them. And that's typically women's train of thought and how they actually connect dots and get to from point A to point B. You're sitting there looking like, how the hell did you come to that conclusion just willy-nilly like that? And like, you're just looking at them like they got 6 heads when it happens, which makes it so fucking funny. And the sad part about that is people tend to do that, not really understanding it or realizing what's going on or the full gravity of the whole entire situation. And women could do it with just such ease. And the sad part about that is they live in a society where everything's so easy, they could just pass the blame off on everything else because they should never have any hardships because that's the society that we built for them. They're not supposed to have hardships. Like all the stuff that they're going through, it's not supposed to be. It's supposed to be easy. That's typically how that works for them. And the sad part about that, in this day and age, they're starting to learn that in the real world hates you and it'll bitch slap you. Or the real world will help you and kick you off a cliff for the most part. And they're finding this stuff out late in life or, just being red pilled by men like me in their day-to-day lives or, like kind of like the incident that happened with my daughter and me while we were picking up packages and mail and stuff like that for my unboxings and my mailbox video that's coming up pretty soon on one of my channels. I don't know which one yet, but it's coming up. But yeah, and it's stuff like this where like they can pass blame off onto a man or off to an inanimate object or an animal or anything that where it pretty much fits their narrative or suits their need to do so, which is very sad. So like women are willing to actually literally pass blame off onto dead and hell, they'll even blame the dead if you let them. I mean, you don't even have to let them; they technically will for the most part, which is sad. And they have this ability to not want to take responsibility for their own actions, but they'll say they did this, but then they'll contradict themselves by saying, "Well, all men do this." Well, no, not all men do this. The decisions you made got you into this mess that you're in now. So it's not all men do this. It's the fact that you chose this path. The consequences are this. And women feel as though they shouldn't have to suffer those consequences, or they don't feel as though those consequences are warranted for them because women's, which is typically how it works. But like a lot of women are very resentful and very angry and very bitter right now from the landscape going on now, especially with all the women writing op-eds and stuff like that. You hear it every single time, or you'll hear them saying all men. Or my favorite one was the one op-ed where a woman literally said that they want us men to make those men that they want them. No, it's not my job. It's not my job to make a man want you. It's your job to actually make yourself a better human being so men can actually want you. Or how about you stop trying to kick out of your coverage? How about them apples? You ever think of that, maybe? Miss Stang? Maybe stop trying to kick out of your coverage? Because at the end of the day, it's one of those things where like you're going to if women are going to participate in this game, they're going to get hurt and they're going to cry about it. They're going to try to blame all men or a group of men basically for not making the man that they really want to come back to them and or date them for the most part, which is typically how this game actually works. They go chase a man, the man pretty much blows her back out or has sex with them and never calls them back, and now she's upset with all men because she wants the rest of the men to go and get that man to make that man want to date her, for typically how it works. Because pretty much how it works is like women live in this Disney princess fantasy because they watch all these Disney movies or all these movies where somehow, some way she overcomes the odds and she gets the man that she wants. That's not how it works in real life. I mean, there are outliers to that type of shit, but typically that's not how it works in real life. You pretty much got to work for anything you got. That's typically how it works. You can't just be like, I'm going to do this and I'm done. No, that's not how that works in the least bit. And the sad part about that is we live in this age where women can literally do stuff with such carte blanche or such ease and not have to take responsibility for it, but everybody else around her has to take that responsibility for it. Let it be her friend and her friend passes it off to a guy, or let it be her children, or let it be the wind or the alcohol or the the sun was in her eye, or anything crazy like that. For the most part, she gets to blame anything and everything, and any inanimate object, or anything that surrounds her. She always places the blame on that. But to talk about what I'm talking about, for the most part, is there was an incident that happened today while we were getting packages from the post office today, and it was actually pretty funny because it pretty much ends up being the title of this live stream. Who hurt you, lady? Who hurt you? So, me and my daughters were out and about, and we were at lunch, and we were picking up packages, and we loaded up the car, and this, that, and the other, and we basically went out to lunch for the most part, because that's what I do with my daughters. I take them out to lunch for the most part. These are my two oldest daughters, Kírna Dashurie. So I take them out to lunch after we get done getting the packages, this, that, and the other, so we can do an unboxing video, or a video for the most part. So we go out to lunch and we order food, and there's this one lady, and I don't really recognize her. Apparently, I went to high school with her, and it dawned on me after she told me the story, because it was kind of funny. I was laughing in my head, but I didn't laugh. I didn't laugh at her horribly, but like she literally came to the table and she remembered me, but I didn't remember her. So apparently, she went from being nice, "Hi, how you guys doing today? This, that, and the other, this, that, and the other." The waitress thing, the nice waitress thing that people do, to seeing me and treating me like crap the whole entire time, right? So it's me and my daughter Dashurie and Kírna. We're all sitting at the table and we're eating, and it's like just got an attitude with me. She's like very short with me, and just like just poor service in general. So my daughter Dashurie eventually goes to her, "Lady, who hurt you?" And she, like, my daughter asking her a question, stunned her, like she was bewildered by this question that my daughter posed to her, basically, like, "What do you mean, who hurt me?" That face that women make when they're like caught off guard, like, does not compute. Why are you asking me these questions? Does not compute. That face, that confused, stunned look, basically, that women make when they're asked a question. And the lady was quiet and stunned for a while, and it caught her off guard. And then so she put down her drinks and she walked away real quick, right? So my daughter Dashurie literally said that, "Who hurt you?" Right? "Lady, who hurt you?" So she comes back, and my daughter's looking at her like, "Okay, you're still gonna answer this question, lady, who hurt you?" Right? So the woman's putting on her appetizer. She goes, "Your dad hurt me." Like, what did he do to you? Right? Like, your daughter Kírna, what the hell did he do to you? Right? So she goes on to tell the story when we were in high school. Apparently, she was going through a problem. She was going through a problem with a boy that she liked, apparently, and she was actually trying to, instead of actually being direct about it, she was actually trying to tell me the story indirectly. Apparently, I was the boy that she liked. So she was asking me, apparently, and while we were in, I think we were in calculus class. Yeah, it was calculus class, and she's sitting there trying to ask me advice on a boy that she likes. Meanwhile, I didn't realize I was actually the boy that she actually liked, apparently. And she's trying to ask me for advice on what should she do to get this guy, or get the attention of this guy, and this, that, and the other, and this, that, and the other. Okay, cool. So, she asked me, and I basically told her, and she goes, "So, would you be interested in dating me?" And I got that typical Tico Tren, screw face, like, the hell? That face that I'm making videos, like, the hell? So y'all can imagine, and I literally showed her, like, the hell? Like, I thought this was about somebody else. Like, no. Like, ooh, no. I literally said, ooh, no. Like, and it kind of hurt her feelings. And I kind of hurt her feelings from there on out, apparently. So, since that incident, she never really talked to me since that incident. And she was always hurt by my response to her. Because I thought me personally, I thought she was actually literally asking for somebody else, and then she tried to hit on me, like, and I'm sitting there thinking, "Bitch, what's your problem?" So, that was my initial reaction to her, like, "Okay, you want me to help you try to get a guy, you're hitting on me now." The fuck's your problem? Like, and that's literally the look I gave her. Ooh, no, no, ooh, no. That's exactly what I said to her. Ooh, no, no, ooh. Like, I thought she was literally talking about another guy, and it didn't really dawn on me that she was talking about me. But she was being so indirect about it, and I'm from Costa Rica, so if you ain't gonna be direct about it, then bitch, ain't happening. But so it went on from there, and apparently she went on to have like a lot of bad relationships, is what she was telling us, and you know, since that incident, she didn't feel pretty about herself. She didn't feel beautiful at all, or she didn't feel like she was up to standards. You know, she just felt a lot of devastation since she asked that question to me since high school. So she's literally been holding on to this since high school. Like, think about that shit. Now, I'm like old enough to damn near forget about high school, and my daughters are in high school. Let's put it that way. Now, good Lord, it was a long time ago when I was in high school. But yeah, but it's just shit like that just blows my mind that women hold on to and are agitated by, and they let it affect their lives and how they carry out the rest of their lives. But apparently, you know, she was so devastated by my response. Apparently, it bothered her emotionally to the point where she didn't really pursue her goals or her careers or anything she wanted, her aspirations, because apparently my response to her like devastated her that badly, where she didn't go to college and she didn't pursue her things. She didn't have the energy. She didn't have the zest anymore. She didn't have the drive anymore, because apparently the way she described it, I pretty much knocked it out of her, like, you know, somebody getting hit in the solar plex, like I just ripped the wind out of her or something like that by what I did. And the sad part about that, and I'm sitting there thinking to myself, I am not taking responsibility for your stupid ass mistakes or your dumb ass how your life turned out. Like, I'm not responsible for you working as a waitress. You had every opportunity to actually do good, because we both were in the same community. I know who your parents are, so you have every opportunity to actually better yourself. You had even more opportunity than most people to better yourself and to go on to be a better human being for the most part, but you chose to be hurt by this so long and not work on yourself. Now you want to blame me for you being a waitress, when in fact years ago you could have went to school, you could have been what you wanted to do, and this, that, and the other, and you could have been a better human being for the most part. So she blamed the way her whole entire life turned out on me for the reasoning why she couldn't. What's up, Americas? For the reasoning on why she couldn't better herself or have a better life, which is very sad. It's very, very fucking sad. Like, I cannot believe that, you know, this woman, and the audacity of this woman, like, I moved on from that incident. I didn't really think very much of it. She apparently never moved on from that incident. And the sad part about that is she blamed me for the reasoning on why she couldn't do better in life, or she didn't have the upwards mobility. Now, it'd be one thing if this girl lived in a hood and she came from a broken home. I can understand that. Maybe I did, like, you know, maybe I was a straw that broke the camel's back, or maybe, you know, I did knock the wind out of her solar plex, or, you know, maybe I did knock the wind out of her. However, this woman was one of the much more fluent women in the school, so therefore, I think it's totally bullshit for the fact that you're one of the much more influent women in the school. You could pretty much have parties and had parties, and your family is the one that had the farm parties, and last I checked, your mom's the one that hit on me. Like, let's just keep it 100. Like, so, like, no. Like, last I checked, I'm not cool with you for the fact that your family has farm parties, and your mom got high and tried to hit on me. She tried to grope me too, but that's neither here nor there. And I'll tell that in another video. And the sad part about that is, like, you come from a very affluent family in that neighborhood. How are you going to try to throw me under the bus for something that happened years ago? Years ago. I think I was damn near 22 years ago I was in high school? You want to blame me for something that happened to you 22 years ago? Give or take, I think it was 22, 27? I mean, 22, 21, maybe 21. I don't know. But you want to blame me for something that happened to you in high school and the reason why you didn't have any upwards mobility? Like, I went on to do great things in my life. Like, I'm still trying to figure out why. And I come from a third world country, so you don't have an excuse comparative to me, you don't really have an excuse. That, and I don't really have an excuse because I grew up with a bunch of grandparents that told me that I had no choice but I'm going to college, and if I didn't go, then guess who's not going to make it to their 21st birthday. Typically, is what my grandmother told me. So naturally, I went to college because I wanted to make it to my 21st birthday. Yeah. That was typically the threat on the table, basically. Either you go to school or you don't make it to see your 21st birthday. Choice is yours. Basically what she told me. So basically I grew up like one of the African houses where they were like, the African Americans, you're going to graduate from high school. Africans, you're going to college. You're going to graduate from college. You're going to college. If you don't, you're not going to make it to see your 21st birthday. So basically I grew up with a tiger parent. a very, very threatening, dangerous tiger parent. He would have probably ate me alive if I didn't really comply with her wishes and demands for the most part. And it's funny how, you're right, it's pretty much, it's all men's fault for the most part. And I remember finishing that and she just unloading on me and, this, that, and the other. And we finished her meal and, I laid the minimum tip basically because I didn't get great service and I didn't really feel bad for her. So I laid the minimum tip on what my meal was basically. Actually, I went under the minimum tip on that one, which is quite very odd for me. Which is typically odd for me because usually I tip usually like a little over 15%, no matter where I go. I tend to tip over 15%, but like I tip well under 15%. And I'm not willing to take responsibility for your actions, especially because you come from a very, very rich family. So no, it doesn't work like that. Nor am I taking responsibility for your dumbass actions. Nor am I taking responsibility for the mistakes you made in life and the boyfriends that you dated to get you in the mess that you're in. Like, I can't help that you had feelings for me and couldn't be honest about the shit, and so you fucked up your life and your situation. I can't help that. That's not my fault. You as a human being, as a grown-ass woman, have to be able to accept responsibility for your actions. And that's typically how it works. But the sad part about that is, like, I'm not willing to take responsibility for something that you put yourself in or something that you don't really need to be in as a human being, and or things like that, and things like that typically for the most part. I'm not willing to take responsibility for your actions. I'm not willing to take responsibility for anything that I have nothing to do with and or have no bearing over. It's basically like that Serenity Prayer. Grant me to the ability to accept the things that I cannot change. Well, I'm sorry, I was in high school. That's exactly how I felt about you. When you asked me that question, I'm not going to change that question. I'm not going to change that answer, and that's pretty much it. I can't help the fact that you got shot down and I didn't realize I shot you down. Like, I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry because you should have came more direct with me, especially knowing my temperament in high school. She basically just came correct and very direct with me for the most part, and maybe you could have got a better, softer answer versus, me thinking that you were trying to get advice for another man, and then you turned around and tried to hit on me while you were asking me for advice on another man. Like, that's typically how I'm going to respond to you. Like, ew, no. Oh, like, and that's technically how I think when I see that type of stuff or hear that type of stuff. Like, I automatically think if you're asking me questions, you're obviously asking me advice for somebody else. Therefore, except for those people that say I'm asking for a friend. Okay, bitch, you're not asking for a friend. You're asking for yourself. Like, let's just keep it 100. It's like, let's just keep it 100. You're not asking for nobody else but yourself. You're just basically trying to make it so that you don't seem. So we won't paint you and look at you in a negative light for the most part. So you're trying to say, I'm asking for a friend. Women do that shit on Facebook all the fucking time. Meanwhile, we know it's them. And it's just stuff like that just blows my mind. How she blamed me for her whole entire life being the way it is. Like, no. All types of no. It's just stuff like that just blows my mind. Like, oh, no, I'm not taking responsibility. It's just stuff like that just basically, and then the sad part about that, you'll hear women in the Western world say, oh, I want a man that can communicate this, that, and the other, this, that, and the other. But you can't communicate yourself properly. You can't communicate yourself. You can't communicate properly yourself directly. So you always say something to the extent of, "Well, you should know," or "You should already know me by now." No, bitch, I'm not a mind reader. Do I look like John Edwards to you, bitch? I'm gonna need you to actually come about your mouth like a grown ass person and tell me what the fuck is going on with you right now, and or get the fuck out my face. That's typically how I view things and talk to people when people come at me like that. No, I'm gonna need you to tell me what the fuck's going on or get the fuck out my face, and I don't give a fuck about you. Typically how I respond to people, because I'm not thin to sit here and play guessing games. I don't got time for that. Time is money, and if you're wasting my time, I'm going to be very pissed with you. Yeah, and that's typically how it works for the most part. True, very true. They always bring a tangled mess to the table that they call a table, and meanwhile it's not really a table. As I always say, it's pretty much an IKEA table, and they're trying to pretend like it's a Robin Stuckey's table. Like, no, it's not a Robin Stuckey's table. It's an IKEA table. The pieces weren't all in there. It's cracked. Whatever the fuck's wrong with it is wrong with it. It's just cheap. It wilted. Whatever the hell. That's the table that you're bringing. That's pretty much a table that you're presenting to me. I need you to be a better table for me to be okay with you. And the sad part about that is men do have logical brains. We like to solve problems, and we like to, anytime something shows up in front of us, we like to solve the problem. We don't want no fucking roadblocks, or we don't want to hear you complain about shit. We just want to solve the fucking problem, typically, is how it usually works. But unfortunately, we got a lot of people in the society who want to roadblock us all the damn time. No puns to the game. I actually like the game. Who always want to throw up roadblocks and always want to get us to not want to fix things. But and this is typically how it works. Men basically are here to fix things. And that's it. Like, you present us with a problem, we'll either destroy it, fix it, build it, rebuild it, or do what we got to do to make it happen for the most part. Women, on the other hand, they come at you with complaints. And the sad part about that, you'll hear women say, and I've heard this many times on many talk shows or any books, many magazines, I just want somebody to listen to me. Okay, no. See, no. We're not here to listen to you. We're here to solve problems. If you want somebody to listen to you, talk to your girlfriends. If you want somebody to listen to you complain about some bullshit that you don't really want fixed and you just want to be able to complain to somebody, talk to your girlfriends about that shit, or talk to your gay friends about that shit. That's typically how I feel about it. I don't care about problems that you don't want fixed. So I'm gonna need you to take your problem elsewhere. That's typically how I feel about shit, and that's always how I've been. How I've been in relationships when it comes to shit like that. Like, I don't. No. It's like you know. It kind of reminds me of the It kind of reminds me when your dog does something wrong. You take the newspaper, you roll it up, and you bop him in the nose. That's typically what I want to do to people I'm in a relationship with. No. Like, Tico just bopping. You know, after your dog done did something wrong, you just bop him in the nose. That's typically how I view people who bring me problems, who don't want them solved. I basically view me as a person that just rolled up a newspaper and just bopped them in the nose, basically, and said no. That's typically how I am. And it's just shit like that. And it's like, that's pretty much my temperament. It's always been my temperament, and it's always been how I am. And the problem is, we have a society where women are so protected and so guarded and so revered and such on a high pedestal. Like I was saying in another video, they could get like a million compliments the minute that one negative criticism comes in. All those millions of compliments disappear and are focused on that one negative thing. That's typically how it works. Like, all those millions of compliments disappear, and now all of a sudden they want to focus on this negative what's it called? I just said it. Shit. They want to focus on this negative comment or this negative constructive criticism that you're pretty much giving them. It's funny how that works. Like, you know, all the good stuff that they can't focus on that no more. They got to focus on that one person. They will hear shit like, who hurt you, or why are you being so mean, or why are you hating? No, I'm not hating. I'm being honest. It's kind of funny because, like, you know, it's kind of funny because, like, you usually in groups, like, people drag me into groups on Facebook just so they can know, just so they can see me respond to people, just so they can see me piss off women in those groups for the most part. Because they'll start a game of smash or pass on purpose, immediately tag me in that fucking post, like, Tico, you should check this out, or, you know, they'll pretty much tag me. So when everybody starts posting shit, you know, shit just start popping up and women start posting pictures of themselves. And now Tico's got to come and destroy their ego and their whole entire life and the whole entire fucking emotions, basically. Because I'm going to be honest when I get in there, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to sit up here like roast of these men and then fucking think talk about Hulk smash. Like, no, Tico pass. Like, pretty much, and that's pretty much how I am. And like women they can get men talk about they will Hulk super smash her against the wall, or they can tell her all this great shit. But the minute I come in, I'll just say pass, and I'll move on. And she'll make a scathing comment and an angry face emoji and a scathing comment under my thing. And I keep on going through it and shit like that. And I'll basically go, fuck it. This is apparently they want to laugh. Apparently these people in this group want a good laugh, basically, because they want to see what Tico got to say about these women. So typically I go in and I basically go and enjoy it and go pass. And I'll go under all the pictures under this post and basically hit pass. Because people always drag me into the shit on purpose. Like, you know, like they do, like, you know, they'll like at you and then they'll put like the eyes there. You know, the eyes. Tico, come check this out, or Tico, are you seeing this? You know, that's basically what they do to me, basically, and they'll basically post my name at me, and they'll put eyes, like, you know, paying attention in the little comment section, which is actually very funny. But that's typically how it works, and it's sad. But like, it's sad when I got to destroy somebody. I mean, it's funny. I mean, because I'm being honest, and I'm not really trying to destroy them on purpose. But it's like, dude, you don't meet my standards, so therefore you're going to get an honest response from me. So you can't be mad because you participated in this game of smash or pass. If you participate, you got to expect the outcome. You can't be mad because I basically gave you the score that I gave you. It's typically how it works. And the sad part about that, women don't want to take responsibility because they're so used to having their ass kissed or handheld or put on a pedestal, or, you know, selling bathwater to dumbass people, and, you know, got dumbass people literally saying, I'll drink your bathwater and shit like that. I'm like sitting there thinking to myself, that's fucked up by third world country standards. The fuck's your problem, nigga? How about I'll drink your bathwater? The fuck's your problem? And that's literally how I look at a lot of men. What's wrong with you? Well, I'm just saying, she's beautiful, Tiga. Yeah, not beautiful enough to drink. Ain't no woman beautiful on this fucking earth enough to drink no damn bathwater. Fuck that shit. Hell, if the world was going to end and they said, Tico, you got to drink this bathwater of this bitch, so you can save the whole entire world and everybody, you can see all your loved ones. Guess who's all dying, and guess what world's not coming back to life? Because Tico ain't drinking no fucking bathwater. I don't give a fuck about you. I don't care who you are. I'm not drinking shit. Like, it's just stuff like that just blows my mind. Like, dude, I got standards, and I've always had those standards, so you can't be mad at me for those standards. But that's typically how I operate, and that's typically how it works. And people get mad at me, and I really don't care. And like, it's like, dude, so what? Grow up. Typically how I feel about it, like, nigga, grow up. Act like a fucking adult. And it's typically who I am and how I operate. And it's a good example of who I am as a human being for the most part. It's a testament to let you know that I'm not finna do this with you. And this is not how this shit is going down, whether you like it or not. Like, it's no. All types of no. All types of fucking no. But I don't ramble on enough. And basically, get back to the main story. The girl was very upset with me because apparently that's what I did in high school, which was a long fucking time ago, and it derailed her whole entire life. Because what I said in high school basically derailed her whole entire life, which I don't really understand how. But apparently, what I said, that incident in calculus class pretty much destroyed her whole entire fucking life. But the sad part about that is, instead of taking responsibility and trying to better herself or make herself a better human being, she decided to blame the rest of her life and the way her life turned out on me for the fact of that incident in calculus class, for the most part. All because of a facial expression I made and my response to her. Like, you could have asked to clarify, what do you mean by that? Or you could have been more direct and let me know what was going on. I mean, granted, I probably wouldn't have made that face or been that mean with you, but I would have probably turned you down nicely. I'm just saying, like, you can't just come at me sideways or come at me in some round the bush type way and expect me to respond to you in a nice manner. That's typically how that works. Like, no, it doesn't work like that. You actually got to be a good human being and come at me directly like a grown ass person for the most part, because I don't like these kid ass games for the most part. So therefore, I'm not willing to actually settle, and I'm not willing to let you off the hook for bullshit, basically. Oh, goodness, but yeah, it's just stuff like that just blows my mind when it happens, and people are tripped for the most part. But I try my best not to be a complete dick about things, but I do try my best to make shit happen and like try to do things to the best of my ability without hurting somebody's feelings for the most part. Most times I end up not really working out or panning out for people. Sometimes it ended up panning out for people, but like most times it don't, and it's sad. But like, I'm sorry, I'm not gonna take responsibility for bullshit. For the most part. Yeah, I'm not finna drink no now. Hell no. Just now. Oh goodness, but yeah, I'm not doing that at all. But yeah, it's just stuff like that just blows my mind when I see people and they just like do say stupid shit to me, and it makes me laugh, and I just shake my head and I go on about my merry way, because I'm not fin to get caught up in the bullshit or fin to care about anything you got to say if you're not going to be an adult or a grown ass human being and take responsibility. But like, yeah, like, she pretty much unloaded on me, saying how it was my fault that she ended up in this position and she had all these bad relationships, and she never got around to ever having kids, and this, that, and the other, and she really wanted kids, and now it might be too late for her to have kids. Yeah, she just basically unloaded all this shit on me while we're eating dinner, basically. I mean, lunch, with my daughters, and my daughters just looked at her like, this bitch is crazy. Oh my goodness, my daughters are a trip. I love them too dearly. They were just sitting there. The one was just sitting there eating her salad, shaking her head, and the other one was like looking at her like, bitch, are you crazy? Like literally, like she gave her the Smoking Joe Frazier look, bitch, are you crazy? Like, are you crazy? Like literally. And it's just stuff like this, and it just blows my mind how the society we grew up in and the society that we present allows women to not take responsibility, but I have to take all the responsibility for the fact that a woman wants to blame me for her whole entire life being derailed, all because of a facial expression and a response I gave her in high school. That pretty much happened well before my children were even fucking born. Like, really? I'm going to take responsibility for something that happened, like, what I say, like 21, 22 years ago? Like, no. It doesn't work like that. No. And it's just sad. Like, it's very sad watching people do that. And down goes Fraser, right? Down goes Fraser. Yeah, for the most part, and that's typically how it works. And it blows my mind how we live in a society where we can, anything a woman does can be passed off on a man, another person, an inanimate object, some alcohol, a dog, the weather, the sun, the wind, just the rain, anything but our actual own response, or anything but our own actual fault. Because the sad part about that is it's so bad nowadays that if a heifer forgets her umbrella and you got your umbrella, she literally is trying to stand on your umbrella with you. Like, I don't know how many men have actually been victims of this shit, but like, let's just say you're walking around town and you got your umbrella and it starts raining, so you pull out your umbrella. So now you're standing there. She doesn't have an umbrella, so she gets under your umbrella. And it's like one of them things where like you're looking at her like, excuse me, are we dating? Or do I know you? Like literally, she's like standing real close to you under her umbrella. Like, like it's just crazy. Yeah, life is the best teacher for the most part. And like, you got these women just standing under your umbrella with you. And you're looking at her like she's crazy. Like, do I know you? Like, I don't know how many. Let me know if y'all have ever experienced that in public, where like you got an umbrella and it's raining outside, and a woman just stands under your umbrella and she just smiles at you like y'all together or some shit like that, or like you've been knowing her for like a while or some shit like that. Because like that shit happens to me quite regularly. I'll be walking down the street holding my umbrella, and next thing you know, I got like one or two motherfuckers under my umbrella. Like, the fuck, who are y'all niggas? Like, just shit like that. So now a nigga got a smaller umbrella, so bitches can't squeeze under his umbrella with them and shit like that for the most part. But yeah, it's just stuff like that. Like, I can't believe that women actually literally do this in this day and age. And if you get an attitude about it, apparently you're wrong. You're the wrong party for getting an attitude about the whole entire thing. But it's perfectly fine for her to squeeze her ass under your umbrella, and she don't even know you. And this is like the privilege that women have in our society, where they can like they don't have an umbrella, so they can squeeze under your umbrella. You can't say nothing about it. You got to be nice about it because she's a woman. And it's just stuff like this that just blows my mind. Like, no, I didn't buy this for you to squeeze under this with. I bought this for me to squeeze under with. I bought this for me and my children, my toddlers, to squeeze under with. I didn't buy this for you to squeeze under with. Like, we're not. No, I'm gonna need you not to be that close to me. And it's just stuff like that. Like, I don't know if anybody in the comment section has ever had that happen to them. Like, just hit one. Just hit one if you had that happen to you. Just type one if you had that ever happen to you, where you're out and about by yourself and you got an umbrella, and next thing you know, you got motherfuckers under your umbrella that you don't even know and shit like that. Like, it's just stuff like that just blows my mind when you actually see people do the shit that they do. It's kind of weird. It's very weird when that happens. It just blows my mind. It literally blows my mind. Like, I can't believe people literally do that type of stuff, and apparently it's supposed to be okay because that's how we raise people, and apparently it's got no choice but to be okay. But yeah, it's just stuff like that just blows my mind when I see it happen and I watch it. And always wonder what's going on and trying to figure out what the heck is the thing. And it's like women got such carte blanche to do stuff like that. Like, and then if you don't let them, then it's your fault that they got wet. No, how about it's your fault for not carrying an umbrella? How about it's because, like, I remember this one old black lady. You had that happen to you? Oh, nice. I remember this one old lady. Her name. I'm not going to say her name online. She's a sweet old lady. She cracks me up. Black lady. Love her to death. Love her to pieces. She said to me, I remember when I was working with her, she said to me, I always carry an umbrella with me. You never know when it's going to rain, especially in this town, this crazy-ass town. So I always keep an umbrella with me no matter what. No matter what bag I'm taking, I got an umbrella to go with that bag, and I'm always carrying an umbrella with me. And from that day on, what that black lady said to me, I actually started carrying an umbrella no matter if it rains or not. A nigga got an umbrella, basically. A Latin nigga got an umbrella just in case it starts raining on a nigga, basically. Because you never know with the weather. And it's just stuff like that. Like, you got to prepare for your day. You got to prepare for the unexpected for the most part. But people don't want to do that. But then they want to get mad at you for not letting them share your umbrella with them for the most part. I mean, it's one thing if, like, I'm walking down the street and I'm getting wet, which hardly ever happens, and you want to share your umbrella with me, and you actually ask me, do you need an umbrella? Well, yeah, that's fine. However, you just don't jump under my umbrella with me like we've been doing this for a while, or like we dating or something like that, because, like, I come from third world country, you jump on my umbrella with me, I'm liable to swing on you, like, because I don't know you. You'll be pickpocketing me, shit like that for the most part. Like, I'm not fin to get into shit with people that I don't need to get into shit with for the most part. And that's typically how that works. Like, no, this umbrella is not for you, it's for me. And where's your umbrella at? And why do you carry one? You got a big ass bag. Why you got two or three big ass bags or one big ass bag? Why do you think to put an umbrella in one of them big ass bags for the most part? And that's typically how I feel about it, because I know this one black lady. That's what she does. She puts her umbrella in her bag. You never know when she's going to need it, and she breaks it out. And she got an umbrella for the most part. And you ain't got to worry about size of umbrellas, because they got the ones that are so compact that you literally, it's like the size of a Lowry's seasoning bottle, literally, but it opens up to a big-ass umbrella when you open it up, which is actually really, really crazy and nice. But, like, people don't even think to carry those either. because they think that everything's going to be okay. And I guess they think everything's sunshine and rainbows for the most part, which is stupid. You shouldn't think like that at all. Not everything's going to be sunshine and rainbows. You should prepare for the unexpected. You should prepare for the unexpected or anything in life that's thrown at you for the most part, because shit always happens and shit can always happen to you for the most part. And if you don't do anything about it, you're screwed. That's typically how that works. But women don't have to do this, and they can walk around with such carte blanche. And we just have to accept the fact that they're women and they get to do all this great stuff. When in fact, if you were to do the same thing to them, you would probably be Me Too'd or caught up on rape, or they would try to accuse you of assault or anything along the lines of that. But it's perfectly fine for them to squeeze under your umbrella right next to you, like you're fucking dating, like it's one of them fucking old 1950 movies where a man and a woman's walking down the street together under one umbrella, and she's literally like hugged up on them for the most part. Like, who's you? But it's just stuff like that. But I've rambled on enough, and y'all have a blessed day and have a good one, and y'all have a good night. I don't want to keep y'all no longer than I already have, and this already went on like 45 minutes. I'm trying to keep them under 50. But y'all have a good one. Have a safe night. Be good to yourselves. Treat yourselves. Love yourselves. Better yourselves. And always think about and pretty much love yourselves and always be thankful to yourself, and always, reward yourself when you deserve to be rewarded for the most part. Because at the end of the day, ain't nobody going to reward you if you ain't finna do it. Ain't nobody going to love you if you ain't finna do it. And ain't nobody going to care about you if you're not finna care about yourself. Because nobody's going to love you as much as you love yourself. That's why you always got to love yourself. Be good. Be blessed. Good night.